Welcome back to the Knights of Knee. I'm Jordan, and today we're going to take a look at the first unit I finished for our personal 750 point escalation league, and that's where I'm going to include a unit of Dwarf Miners. There's a lot to say about Dwarf Miners. They're both, we're going to talk a lot of tactics about them too now. I haven't used them a whole lot, so it's going to be interesting to see how close my pay-per-view compared to actual use is going to be. I think that it's unfortunate that they're stuck in the special choice slot and they're not stuck possibly in rare or core, because as dwarf players, our special section is so just packed full of awesome units and great things. I think that this is probably the weakest choice in our specials out of everything. I really do. But it's not saying that they're bad. So let's talk about them. Let's talk about their strengths and weaknesses. The best thing that you could do with Dwarf Miners, and this is even a fairly large sized unit with 20 models, is maybe just take 10 to 15 and outflank them. I don't know if you need the Prospector to have the steam drill like I've given them. I personally really like that 2 strength 6 attacks that I might get, but they're there to hunt war machines, and that's pretty much it. With my list, it's definitely far more fluffy, far more friendly than I'm playing, and we're playing up to 1250 right now, just to try to get our armies painted on the table and looking good. And hopefully we can get in and get some battle reports done. But 20's the most I would ever take, and that's quite a few. I personally am probably going to run a horde of 50, and that's a terrible idea. I do not recommend that for anyone, but being able to ambush with these guys and potentially get in the next turn and destroy a war machine that's really causing you problems, especially against like Empire, even Chaos with their cannon, or my other favorite army, Patronians, just taking out those trebuchets, it's so important because they're so good that you just have to do something about it, especially when even though dwarves have these awesome buffs to charging and being charged, you really don't want that to happen. You want to be able to gun your opponents down and then form that defensive line, and a lot of that's based centrically around the fact that we only have movement 3. I personally play very combat heavy, moving themed dwarf armies, but it's very difficult to play. I would not recommend that unless you're getting bored and you want to try something new and fun. I think all advancing, all attacking dwarves is great. The other thing with Dwarf Miners is they have great weapons, but for a few more points that you could have just paid to have Longbeards, which would be altogether better with great weapons, or just normal dwarves, which is what Dwarf Warriors, which is what these guys are that can ambush. I don't think it's worth it. If you wanted to fill a slot and take great weapons, I would just take Warriors with great weapons, or even Rangers with great weapons do better. I mean, everything. Just hammers are so much better because they have that additional weapon skill and strength. The Longbeards are just altogether better with that extra weapon skill, extra strength. It's just such a tough call to look at the Dwarf Codex, look at Miners and say, yeah, I want to take these guys, and I'm going to take them in a big block, but I'm going to try it out and we're going to see what it's like. The blasting charges that they can take, I mean, I haven't personally given any of my guys blasting charges. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that 4-inch range, strength 4 armor piercing, flaming, quick to fire shots is worth it. Essentially, it's range 7 because you can move and fire it with no penalty, but I just don't think that since it's one use only and only 10 guys are going to get to throw it in this unit of 20, how I have them lined up here, you could line them up 10 wide. I just don't think that it's worth spending the points for something you're probably never going to use and you specifically have to deploy in order to use it. I just don't think it's worth it. I think there's just so many different things we could do that's so much better in our codex than blasting charges. I even think that the Iron Breakers, those little bombs that they have, are better. I think they're called Center Blast Bombs. I can't remember right now. Yeah, Center Blast Bombs. I think that's better than this. And that's range 2 to 4, or 2 to 8. So you already have an extra inch without even moving. It's just not worth it. I just think that when they looked at Dwarf Miners, they looked at the past codexes and decided that they were just going to squeeze them in. But from a fluff perspective, they're awesome. I love them. They're one of my favorite dwarf models. I just like the candles on their heads. But what I'm going to do for my 1250 point list, if you haven't seen that video, is I have 2 units of 20 exactly like this. They both have prospectors with steam drills, full command. I'm probably not going to outflank both of them. I don't think, with the point value we're playing and the people I'm playing, and that the fact we're not playing super competitive, I don't think a whole lot of war machines are going to be present in our games, and I just think it's detrimental to ambush them. I think it would literally cost me more games than it's ever going to help in. So I'll probably just deploy them, which defeats the entire purpose of taking miners. I could have taken something else for cheaper points, but I didn't. But that's my take. I think that, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, but I think that they're in the wrong chart section under special for fantasy. I think that that's such a competitive section for us that you could have done anything else. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think, and I can't wait to show you the more models we're going to finish, and you guys have a great day.